Good afternoon, evening, Saturday. I'm live from Clearwater, Florida. My name is Lana, or Sundari Kiran Kaur is my spiritual name. I'm just checking to see who's out there. Kind of an odd time on a Saturday, and today's topic came old memories and familiarities. In my morning meditation this morning, I had some old memories popping in that I had totally forgotten about. And I was like, oh my gosh, I totally didn't remember that. And you know what was interesting about having these particular memories is I realized, wow, I was a different person back then. That was interesting. Wow, what about my behavior? What was that about? Why did I act a certain way? Why did I behave the way I did? And how embarrassed I would be if anybody else were to have seen me as I am now, having been like that, and how they may judge me. Just the idea that somebody could see that usually is the reason we suppress and bury those old beliefs and patterns in the past. Thank you, Dawn. Well, yeah, my behavior was good with you, but I'm talking when I was much younger, in my more destructive ages. So these particular memories came up, and I was really like judging myself, because that's what we do. We tend to have these memories that we've suppressed and hidden from others. We don't go around sharing certain details about ourselves because we're afraid that that is going to change how others view us, that we won't be loved, we won't be accepted, that we'll be rejected. And so in reality, even we shouldn't judge those times or those memories, because at this point, this stage in life, we're doing the best we can. That was all part of the path we had to traverse to get to this point. If we hadn't had those experiences, we wouldn't be right here, right now, in this place to look back and go, wow, totally different life, totally different person. I'm so grateful for where I'm at. And I'm grateful for those experiences, no matter how bad or embarrassing they may have been. So yeah, they really kind of shocked me, because I think they were deep down in the crevices, and I was going, ooh, I don't like that. I don't like that about myself. But why didn't I like that about myself? Well, because as far as I can look back, if I were to judge it now, I'm in a better space now, clearly, where I could say, I get it. I was at that point in my life, I was young. I wanted to be liked. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to connect with people. I did a lot of stupid things to get people's attention that weren't healthy for me. Things I compromised my own personal integrity and self for. And at that time, I thought I had to do that to get attention or people to like me. I was immature, of course. I was preteen, teenager during those years, actually teenager, some of the memories. I had a complete lack of awareness of what was going on at that time. A lower self-esteem. I didn't have that confidence, obviously, if I was willing to compromise myself. And, I wanted others to accept me. But it's ironic, because how can someone accept you if they don't know you? And when you put yourself out there with this image of what you think others will like, you're not doing anyone a service, especially yourself. It ends up being all lies, where you've compromised yourself. And so when people start to see you in this light, and then you change and you do things differently, it starts to make them question who you are. But when you stay in your authentic self and you stay true to who you are and your being, you have nothing to cover up later. people can decide from that point on if they're going to accept and love you, and people will or won't. It's totally irrelevant. There's a quote that says, "What other people think of you is none of your business," and it's actually pretty cool because if you think about it, who cares? It's too often, again, we, instead of going within and accepting and loving ourselves for where we're at and who we are, we're looking outside of us for others to come in and validate and tell us, it's okay, I like you, so that you can tell yourself, oh, okay, if they like me, I can like me. So, with that said, so we have these memories, and you start to look back in these people that were or were not, are no longer in your life. So some of these people in my past, I've never seen again. And maybe one or two are still in my life, just maybe communicating, but not like it was back at that point, that stage in my life. Especially with family. Now, family is amazing because, you know, they're going to know you from the time you were born. Wouldn't you like it if maybe the same family members looked at you differently and said, hey, it's nice to meet you for the first time? But see, what we tend to do with family is we get very lazy, and we say, well, you were like this when you were younger. And so you almost get held in a certain regard of that's who you are. That personality has continued to exist across your life. But in reality, we all evolve, we all grow, we all change, we learn, we have lessons, we have experiences. And what you were back 20, 30, 40, 50 years is not going to be where you're at today. I mean, even our body sheds, and we are renewed every so many months, cycles, years. It's fascinating if you stop and think about it, that right now this body has regenerated cells and completely transitioned into where I'm at now. How can you not appreciate the fact that looking back on your memories, if it weren't for those experiences, you wouldn't have something to look back and be appreciative of where you are now. And maybe if you're in a bad place, you can look back on the good stuff and go, wow, you know what? This too shall pass. Because ultimately, we're going through that ebb and flow, and times are changing, and today you may be on the up and tomorrow you may be on the low. You have to appreciate and honor everything because it's all part of who and what we're experiencing in this life. So going back to the family members, and you know, I love my family, and I years ago went through a Date with Destiny Anthony Robbins event, and it was transformational for me. It was 6 days of deeply going within and figuring out some of my old patterns and beliefs and where it all came from, and trying to rebuild my self-esteem and figure out how to make a shift in my life. And one of the things he said was, when you go home, be aware your family is going to expect the same person that left to be the same person who walks in the door. And this is going to be the hardest adjustment, because in order to hold yourself to this newfound self, to hold yourself accountable, to hold yourself in this new space and honor where you are and where you've come, and to start shifting the way that you proceed forward, to not be reactionary, to not be the same person who was there before. You're going to walk through that door, he said, and they're just going to hold you as if you were the person who left. And I was like, wow, okay, well, that makes sense, because we all have a time of, you know, a shift, a change in our life, and we're not the same person we were the other day. And so when you walk in, your family's just treating you as if all that stuff comes back up to surface, those old triggers, everything that, you know, you're being brought back to the challenge of, can I hold myself where I want to be, as opposed to going back into the old patterns. So the reality is, in order to shift, we have to change the way we do things. The definition of crazy is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, right? I can go in on this one more in detail, but ultimately I just wanted to people to realize that we all want to be seen uniquely as we are and not as we were. And we want to be treated that, like a new person every day, right? So it's like, oh my gosh, it's so great to meet you. You're so beautiful. You're so fabulous. But trust in that every encounter you are meeting someone else. So when you approach and you meet someone in your life, you have another encounter, consider yourself as the other person. Try to think, okay, I may know this person, but do I really know them? And put aside all of the experiences you've had with them, the beliefs you have about them, and the judgments that you hold towards them, because we all have them. Would you want someone to do the same for you? So with that said, I hope today's challenge is to, in every encounter with the person that you meet, especially someone you've known for years or even a short time, look at them with new eyes, as if it's the first time you're meeting them, and try to stave off and lay aside all of those previous ideas you have about them, the little box that you put them in, and all those labels that they have in your box. Take that, throw it off to the side, and start anew like it's the first time. You may glean some insight just from that encounter, that experience between the two of you. And the beauty is that when you do that, you give them a new experience and they feel appreciated more. Because don't we feel more appreciated when someone's curious about us? So use that curious, childlike nature that still resides deep within you and see those new encounters, even in the old, and the beauty in all, like it's new and fresh. Have an amazing Saturday evening. Many blessings. I love you all. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great night.